Yes, my
All
bro.
right, bro. You good, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, all good. How are you?
Uh, Tired.
Why are you
I don't know
tired?
if you can tell, I've had little amount of sleep last night.
Oh, okay. What happened?
I come up with the crazy idea of deciding to do so many projects at once since
Yeah.
lockdown. And I think I set myself a target which was literally too high for myself. And the bar level for that was like literally, I can't even do this now. Like, what have I done? Too many projects at once. So I'd rather produce quantity over quality, you see.
Yeah.
So now I've had to slow things down and work one at a time. But obviously, in the due course, one of them things was longer than expected because it's like I'd start off one thing and I'd be like, oh, this now, like, you know, it's never ending.
So I just lost you a bit, bro. Sorry. What did you just say before?
About working on so many different projects,
Yeah.
and obviously quality over quantity sort of thing, and a lot of time consuming. So I've just been sort of like staying awake late at night, cracking on with those.
But how you been keeping busy during quarantine?
Same as everyone else, man. It's literally like just trying to stay home as much as I can. Not trying to crowd follow where everyone's going to all these beaches, public parks, ignoring the rules because many of the DJs will say this themselves. As soon as them clubs are back open, everyone can go out freely and willingly to do what they want. So I don't know why they won't just stay at home and, you know, protect their family, other people's family, and, you know, when the time comes, then just go out and enjoy yourself rather than contradict it now. Because the more we don't listen now, in the longer run of things, it's going to end up worse. We're going to have a second wave of it and it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be worse than like the first, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. I think the second wave might come.
Well, you can't really believe social media as such. Obviously, like you see so many different things, and then you're like, "Well, is that true? Is it not? Is it a reliable source?" But what I've seen, if the sources are realistic, beaches have been packed, parks have been packed. You know, I've even seen some local pubs, like not obviously in my area in Nottingham, but not far in the Midlands, trying to open up on the back, and like, yeah, you can tourism will do, you know, trying to earn business that way, and they've been caught out. And they've lost the leases for it and everything, so they've learned in the long run it's not worth it.
Yeah. So going to your career, how did DJing start?
Well, this was an odd one. I reckon I've always had a thing there for music, but I've never knew. It was like when I was about 16, 17, I was always in like pubs and stuff as you do, like, you know. And I was like, oh, some of the music was there wasn't much to my taste, but I was like, you know, you just vibe away to the beat, like you just know you're like going away with it. And then next thing you know, I'm like on a set of decks. I think I spent about 150 quid on a new Mark track quad it was at the time. So it was quite a small unit, and I was loving life. Like, you know, I thought, give it a couple of years, I'm the next David Guetta. But it doesn't quite work like that, does it?
Of course not.
If only we'd all be rich, eh?
Yeah, if it only took 1 year, 2 years.
Yeah, so then it came around to sort of like progressing more and more, learning ins and outs, you know. One brief thing I was actually planning on to talk about with you, like, is help in the DJ industry. I've struggled many times, not necessarily DJs, but helping others doesn't seem so important as it used to be.
Yeah.
So I've joined different trend now with sort of like saying, if you need help, you know, just drop me a DM, anything like mashup related, DJ related, or preparing your sets, music, you know, if I've got the time there for you, I will gladly help, you know.
Yeah, help.
And I know,
you know what? Help is like it's a massive thing now. I mean, during this period, I think a lot of DJs will help you, but I think when it comes back into the clubbing scene and everything, I don't think they will as much as they would have during this period.
yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying obviously it's not the case of, oh yeah, we should help them or they should help us. You know, it's more when they've got the time. I know certain DJs have done it. Like, obviously, I know you had Alfie on like last week, was it?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
And he was speaking about obviously Nathan getting him involved, and you know, and he really appreciated that. And now, like, look, he's doing bits. He's going there. It was his first release tune. I'm like, hang on a minute ago, you was only like DJing abroad, like now you're releasing your true report. I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute, that came out of nowhere. So, you know, it's just behind the scenes work. It's all content, pushing content. I believe it or not, I never used to believe that. I just thought, oh yeah, if you make good mixes, you'll get heard. But I'm like, no. I think
most of us up and coming DJs thought that, and then realize it's not all about the mixing.
No, I've had this chat with so many resident DJs at my local club where I perform in Leicester. We've had the chat where we reckon 90% of the DJing itself is marketing, and then the 10% actually is mixing. I don't know if many of the DJs agree, but most of them will say promotion and consistency is a high key. That is the way forward. If you get bookings now, one of the main things the club's going to ask you is like, oh, what's your following? Like,
yeah, definitely.
If you go, oh yeah, I've got like 100 followers, they're going to like, oh, we'll check the guy at 10,000 followers first, you know. But there is people out there, genuine people, what will go, oh right, well, your mix is good, like, you know. It's the same thing with resident DJs and events DJs. This was a big thing for me last year. I find that it's easy to play an event set because you're playing that one off. Like if you're touring the UK as a DJ, you can play the same set over and over again at different venues. No one's going to remember that same set. But if you're in a club as a resident DJ, you've got to be able to switch it up week in, week out with the same sort of crowd what's coming to that club from that area. Yeah. And it does prove hard at times. I've had problems before where you'll try one night and try the set you tried 6 weeks ago, and it just doesn't go. So you constantly got to be like moving and flow with it. But yeah, no. Apart from that, it is key. Sort of keep getting all brand new music, keep trying different things out, you know, and just keep pushing really.
So from getting your first DJ gig in a club, how was that? And was it easy for you or was it hard?
Believe it or not, I first started messaging clubs and stuff saying, oh, like, is there any slots available, like, for me to come try? You know, I think I'm ready to hit the clubs now. Yeah. Being brutally honest, most of them read the message and was just like, didn't reply. So I was like, you know, I was polite. Thank you for your time, whatnot. It's the best thing to do for an up-and-coming DJ as well. Yeah. Just be polite, and then they'll respect you more. Because this is how I actually landed my one in Leicester, you see. I sent them some mixtapes over. I said, like, if you've got time, will you listen? Like, you know, 5 years down the line, well, almost 5 years, I'm still playing there to this day. Well, obviously not now, but I'm still, you know, still going. As soon as it's all over, I'm going back strong. Yeah.
Do you ever get scared of losing your residency, or do you think every week you're kind of upping it and they're gonna keep wanting you back?
Hopefully they keep wanting me back, right? I don't want to burn bridges here because I don't know, like, you know, who's watching. But there's been other clubs what have been putting offers in for me, you see. And obviously I've like sort of hummed and hawed away from it. I'd rather leave on good terms rather than bad terms. So at the minute I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Okay, well, the flip side of that is that unless you have a contract with a club, you can do what you want, right?
Yeah, see, that was my issue. I'm actually contracted, you see.
Oh, okay.
That's a whole different ball game of obviously the side of DJing.
Let's get into that as well, because that's a good topic as well. Like, do you think it's good to be contracted with a club or not?
See, that is a tough one. It has its pros and it has its cons, I'd say. With the pros, you know you're going to be safe. Guaranteed. Unless if you do something absolutely bizarre to lose your position there, you are safe. But the downside of things is it's going to be a lot harder to branch out. And when I say this, it's like, if you're there for, like, I've been there 5 years now, you're going to get offers thrown at you. And some of them offers are going to be, like, unrealistic. And you'll be like, what? It sounds too good to be true. And if you take that offer, all it takes is that other club to have you there for a month and go, right, this isn't working, then you've lost.
You can't go back.
Exactly. And then that's when you start the ball game of, oh, well, when are we going to play now? You know. But luckily for me, obviously every DJ has the highs and lows. I don't think I can ask a single DJ what hasn't had a bad point in the career. Well, I do this full time, and I've done this full time for 5 years now. Like, you know, people go to me, "Oh, what job do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm a full-time DJ." Is that a job? Well, yeah.
Yeah, no one really sees it as a job.
I just give up arguing with people. It's like, it is a job. It's a skilled job. Most jobs nowadays, it doesn't require a lot of skill. Some jobs are hard out there, like hands down. There is jobs a lot harder than what we do. A ton times harder. Like, look at the NHS, for example, at the minute, look how much pressure they've got. We don't receive that pressure. Like, when we go behind a booth, we've got, what, like 1,000, 2,000 people in front of you just jumping around because, like, you're playing absolute bangers. Right? You get paid to do something you love. Like, you know, I personally don't think I'd ever want to change job. Like, you know, I'm trying to cement my position where I am at the minute. With that said, I posted a mashup video 2 days ago. So while lockdown's on, I'm just posting content. I'm currently working on another mix, thinking of different ideas, trying to be unique from another DJ, you see, because we're all doing the same thing, but it's how we do it, what makes it different. You've got to think
what kind of
outside
makes your DJ set unique then, compared to other DJs?
My DJ set unique. I guess every DJ has their own really sort of style of things. Like me, I'm multi-genre, but where I play, you have set nights for set music because there's 3 floors in the club. You see, so we'll have me and then like 2 other DJs on, and then one floor will be like R&B, one will be like dance, and you know.
Yeah.
So it all depends what night really. Like if it's a Saturday night where I do R&B on like sort of the main floor, I'll get creative with acapellas. Like, I like to throw down a lot of 90s old school stuff. You know, like the students wouldn't know. Like you've got to get them into that, otherwise the songs are going to die out. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
To us, will never die out because the absolute bangers like Ashanti, Ja Rule, you know, all stuff like that, the absolute bangers. It's my go-to. But for a student, they're like, I've never heard this. Like, what's this? So you've got force feeding it. You know this song, future reference, so this cannot die out. It's like
so with that as well, do you think the student nights and uni nights and stuff like that are keeping the club going? And do you think that clubs are kind of dying out, or do you think that's only certain areas?
I think it's only certain areas. Like, obviously, I know you've asked quite a few DJs where's the best sort of hotspot in the UK for clubs and stuff. So it all goes on area, but at the same time it goes on the club, on its reputation. If the club has a bad reputation, students ain't going to want to go to. If they've got a uni near it, then they've got drink deals, like, you know, they'll go to there. It all goes on music as well. If you go to a club and you like, say you go in for the first hour and you listen to the DJ and it's like, yeah, he's all right, you're going to want to go back, aren't you? But then if you go to a club and you're like, ooh, then you ain't going to go back again. It's all down to how people pursue things when they enter the venue. As soon as they're in that club, they're going to know if they're going to want to come back or not.
So a lot of people don't kind of realize how hard it is to get these gigs. So how hard was it for you to get the residency?
The residency,
what kind of opinions? I mean, not opinions. Sorry. What's the word I'm looking for? What kind of tips would you give to up and coming DJs?
I wouldn't sort of bounce away from it if a club says no to you. If they go, oh no, sorry, don't just go, oh well, no one's going to ask me that. Because I was pushing like sort of 30 clubs a day. It got that bad. I was reaching out like up and down the country. That was just to get my foot in the door into the club scene. Then when I eventually did, it's like, yeah, you're up against 300 DJs. I'm going to narrow it down to 3. I'm like, huh? Like, that's when you feel the pressure. You do everything you can. If you really want it, you prove you want it. I managed to get down to the top 3. And then in the top 3, I think I had like 2 weeks to come up with something. So I put together like a routine. And then obviously sort of one of the managers came round to actually where I live because he didn't live too far from me. And I showed him this routine live and his jaw just dropped and I'm like, oh, is this good? Is this bad? You know, like, never assume the worst. Like,
Mm.
And then the next day, I had a phone call. Oh, you able to come in for a trial night? I'm like, yeah, like, you know. So I went down to the club for a trial. I think the worst mistake was I played it safe. And what that means for people, obviously, if they don't know, if you got like up and coming DJs in here, was like playing all your commercial, like Nicki Minaj, Katy Perry,
Yeah.
One Direction, really, really girly pop songs. And he was like, I wanted you to experiment with your own style. I was like, oh, okay, like, you know. So he brought me back in another night, and I went back my own style, and the club actually ended up busier than what it was with the commercial style. So I'd only ever play safe if the club is quiet or, like, you know, it's not doing too well on a night.
Yeah.
With that said, I think after this blows over, students are going to be about pulled back a bit of going out, I reckon. So it will be a safe play.
How do you deal with kind of like the multi-genre-ness of the club, like, environment? Because obviously a lot of people from different cultures, backgrounds, I don't know, music tastes as well, all coming under one roof. Like, how do you deal with that?
See, we've had a lot of Spanish girls in at one point. I think it was last year at some point, and at the time, I was constantly asking for Spanish music, and obviously, at this point, I barely knew any Spanish music. It's you know, I'd love to happily play some if I knew some, you know. But what song was it I played? Oh, it was one by Justin Bieber and
Oh, what, Despacito?
Despacito. That was the one. I played
I hate
that
that
right.
song so much. I hate it so much.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I'll get to that one in a minute.
That song when it dropped was played everywhere, like everywhere, and I hated it.
I just thought it's funny when you're in the club and you're seeing people trying to sort of like sing along to it, like, yeah. Nice. Have you had a drink yet, mate? But no, with that song, I played it and obviously I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you. I was like, you know, it went a long way. It does. So if I've got something, like, you know, I will cater to each style. It's just the arrogant people where they're very demanding. I could be mixing, say, what, a really, really like heavy drum and bass track. Oh, can you play something a bit more girly? Like, yeah, okay, sure. Well, now, not right now. I'm like playing the heaviest drum and bass. I can't exactly drop this right now, you know. My dance floor's like jumping from left to right, and you want me to just like stop it dead just for one song? I can't do that.
Yeah. I think there's like an etiquette of coming up to a DJ and asking for the track.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people just show the phone and just be like handing it in your face and stuff like that.
Yeah, see where I'm situated on obviously the DJ booth. It's like it's a bit high, it's a bit raised with a bit of a perspex glass. I've had many people climb up the front of it, like Bob Bird open, like, you alright, mate, can you play this? Like, well, can you get down off the booth first?
Once they're trying to climb in there.
do you know what I mean? Like, and then obviously we've got a stage bit behind us.
Yeah.
Obviously they can't get in the, it's up, we're all like cordoned off in the booth, and there's like a little platform where the lights go. They climb up there, and I'm just like, oh, what is going on tonight? You know.
Have you had any problems with like the promoter or manager telling you to tone it down or to keep it a bit?
No, but believe it or not, my managers are absolutely banging, and I'm not just saying that because they might see this. No, they're absolutely brilliant. We've had different debates about things, but nothing too minority. Like, you know, he knows what I'm going to bring to the club when I'm there. He knows I'm willing to try new things, and, you know, not even just for the sake of it, because I want to try new things. Because eventually, like in years to come, I do want to start hitting them high levels, because I've already had like the festival offers and the.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, I just got a call.
You're all right. Did
Yeah,
you
yeah,
catch
all
up
good.
last week?
I didn't catch the last bit.
I was just saying, obviously, like, being a resident DJ now for a while, I've had offers for festivals and to DJ abroad. Within the next few years, I'm ready to take that lunge and sort of like, I'm going to go for it. But if I go for it now,
going with that, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
hopefully playing festivals, not as a big act, obviously, because I don't want people to think, is it that easy really? Because it's not. You've got to put in the work. Like you've got to push every single day. I got to a point where I didn't push, and I noticed the big impact it had. You lose following, nobody pays interest, because it came to a point where I was saying I was going to drop a mix this date, and because I had problems or I was out, I never dropped it. So people are like, well, he said he's going to drop his mix at 4 before, so why is it? It's 4 now. Where is it? They don't bother looking anymore. So that took a while to gain, the consistency back. So literally, do not put any content out there until you're ready to publish it. It's like
how much does social media mean in the DJ kind of industry?
It is a big push. It is the most powerful tool to use in this industry. Like, apart from Facebook live streams, because they kick you off every 5 minutes. It's just an absolute nightmare. There's so many different rumors of saying, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do that, and you won't get kicked off. It's all algorithms. They're all computer based.
Yeah.
They will kick you off. I was
reading
the
45-second mixes. That's it.
If you ain't mixing 45 seconds, don't go live.
Yeah. Literally, I did that yesterday. So I've been cut off like 3-4 times now during an hour, just in an hour. So yesterday I did like 30-second mix. I was fine, like no problems.
Yeah, I think it's literally your biggest club anthems. Like, you sort of got to try and stay away from.
What I heard is if you don't drop the first verse of it or the first little bit, then or like talk over the first bit, then the Instagram won't pick it up. And
definitely. If you've got a microphone involved, like you say, talk over more, then it won't kick you as much. Like, you'll probably get a warning saying, oh, you're going to get kicked, like I did like 2 weeks ago. But you won't get kicked for that.
You know what? The streamings are big though, but do you think a lot of DJs are kind of just copying other DJs in that, or do you think it's hard because obviously there's so many?
Personally, I think it's a good variety. Like, it's like shopping online. You see a pair of trainers, like, I don't want to get them from there. Like, I get them from there because it's a better price. So, like, you're literally going through Facebook and saying, right, don't really like this DJ, but there's another one down, so I like this one. So for all these people who sort of live at the bottom end of the country, who who's never seen the DJs play live at the top of the country, it gives them the opportunity to go on Facebook and actually watch them play. It's like, whoa, it's a massive move.
What goals are there in place for you to DJ in the country? Like, what other cities do you want to tour?
I've always wanted to play in London. Specifically, Ministry of Sound.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's just even me. Like, all of us London DJs can say the same thing. It's like, it's one of the hardest scenes to break into. Because you've got West End, which is one bubble, and then you've got the rest of London, and London's massive. So I'm in South London, so South London is a totally different scene to North London, East London, West London.
Yeah, no, I can imagine this. Why.
So it's mad. You have to have good connections if you're coming from another city, especially.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, what other cities for you?
So London will be my top. Birmingham will be second because I've heard good things about Birmingham, like very good things about Birmingham. And I don't know why, but Leeds would be my third. I reckon I'd lay out an R&B set in London if I had my choice. Obviously, like I say, I'm multi-genre, but if I had specific genres to play at locations, I'd lay out an R&B set in London. Maybe something dance bass in Leeds. And probably an R&B in Birmingham as well. Definitely.
So I'm gonna ask you this. So how have you kind of utilized your social media to get your following up and keep yourself active? Not just during this period, just in general as well.
Like I say, I always post like previews of mixes, what I'm going to drop, artwork of mixes that I'm going to drop, projects I'm working on, previews of my mashups. So obviously I've just got into mashups and stuff like that within the past sort of like since January. And a secret, if anyone's watching who knows me, I've just started remixing my first ever track. Which I'm not going to show any previews away yet, because if I show previews, people is going to get bored of it to keep hearing it. So I'm just going to keep that on the low, and then like, so I was just, here you go. Like, well, where did that come from? You know.
So if you look back at your career, is there anything you'd change?
I'd probably start pushing more content younger. Definitely. Yeah. It was quite late when I started saying, right, I'm going to take it serious now. You know. Because at first, like I said to you at the start, oh yeah, not in a year's time, 2 years' time, I want to be like Calvin Harris or David Guetta, you know? It ain't happening.
What's your take on a warm-up DJ not playing their parts, or any DJ not playing their part in a set?
You've got to be in it to win it, 110%. If you're wanting it, like, not as a warm-up DJ, this is for like any DJ in general. If you're turned up to a set and you're looking around and bored, you know, you ain't person for the job. You know, like, they could get someone in there who's like more hungry for it, and show more than what, like, you know, just like sort of bobbing your head away, just like looking like down, you know. I'm not saying go in there jumping around with like all the people in the club, like, you know, I'm not saying that, but most of the fact is like, just enjoy it rather than just like looking like you don't enjoy it. And as for a warm-up DJ, just literally do not waste the biggest bangers of the night. Like, you know, if you're wasting the biggest bangers, like, there's no point of even warming up to the DJ, because you ain't going to get a warm-up slot again.
I don't even think you'd be warming up the crowd anyway, because people entering the club at, like, let's say 10:30, are already listening to like the newest Drakes out there, and they're like, oh, okay, we're starting like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then come 12 o'clock, they've already listened to all the songs they wanted to listen to.
That is a tough one. But no, you're completely right. It's like, with a main DJ, people go to see that headline act. Like, say, for example, you've got... So I've played on stage with Sigala and Tom Zanetti before as well. And when I did their warm-up set, this was quite a while back, at Chelmsford University, I think it was, for an SU party. People going there to see them. As much as I was getting hyped to say, yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm warming up for these, like, you know, they wasn't there to see me, they was there to see them. But at the same time, it's good to sort of like just play a nice chilled set, you know, have your name in lights or whatever, or get your name like branded on a post or whatever. And then they know who's warming up for them. And then if they like your style, like, you know, they'll go, we'll check him out in the future. That's another follow.
Yeah.
That's how you got to look at it. So don't just go there and expect, oh, yeah, I'm going to play all the best bangers. And then, you know, I'll be there. You won't, because you won't get booked again.
Would you rather have done production than DJing, or DJing than production?
I wish I'd started them at roughly the same time.
Okay.
But I think most of the things is, like, with how it's set nowadays, is most people start DJing before they start production. It's literally like, there's very few DJs I know what started production before DJing, if that makes sense.
What overseas bookings do you want to get after quarantine?
Well, I was, like I said, I was looking at going to Iron Appa, this was in 2017.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had to cancel that due to like personal circumstances going on at home. Obviously, that was all ready to go as well. So I'd love to like really try and go back out there. obviously every DJ's dream is setting Ibiza. That's probably
definitely.
that's one of the top ones. I heard Greece is quite good. There's a all round.
Yeah.
So, or Marbella. There's literally endless amounts because like so much you hear, about these places. You're like, I want to go there, and then you're like, no, I want to go there.
Yeah, there's a lot of options because.
But you're not limited.
True. But obviously, the overseas bookings are quite hard to get.
Definitely, I would say you've got to know the right people because 9 times out of 10, if you know a good promoter what can get you out there, as soon as you've landed one, you're going to land multiple. So this was another thing. When you're DJing and when you're sort of pushing all this content out, engage with other DJs. It's like, obviously, when I first started seeing your lives, I was like, oh yeah, this is sick, man. Get me on board. I'd love to have an input because there's so many different things I could say slightly a little bit different from other DJs, But no, so it's just been a long run.
So, earlier we were talking about help. Do you think bigger DJs are more reluctant to help in or less?
It all depends on time. You could go to a big DJ, could have all the time in the world for you. And then, he'll give you tips and advice. And then you could go to someone who's not got much time, but he'll still give you a quick comment or something like that. So there is 90% of DJs out there will help. But I'm not saying go message all these UK top 40 artists because you probably won't get a response at all.
Yeah.
Unless if you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody sort of thing. I've recently just inquired about loads and loads of dub plates, and these are dub plates from Style OG, General Levy, what was the other one I went for? Kevin Little.
Yeah.
I had one off Gracious K, an artist called K Moore. I had one off Millie Major. So I've got a fair few dub plates,
Yeah.
And that's just by networking. Obviously, if anyone don't know, dub plate is basically where somebody was reading the song and then add my tag into the song. But yeah, with engaging with one, I've engaged with another. Yeah. So it's gone from getting a dub off Ironic to getting a dub off Gracious K, then to moving up to the bigger artists.
Yeah.
I recently just was speaking last month to an artist called Dawn Penn, if you know
her. No, I haven't.
Old school reggae artist.
Oh, okay.
She made a song called No No No. You honestly check it out. As soon as you hear it, it's one of them.
I might know it, but I might just not know the artist.
It's really, really, really old. But obviously, I listen to a lot of Jaguar Skills because he's a DJ I honestly look up to because his work rate is absolutely sick. And obviously, I heard the dub that he got. I was like, I want that. I want my name in that. So I contacted her and I waited for about a month, I think it was. And she just randomly rang my phone because I left my number. I was like, hello? It's Dawn Penn. Do you still want a dub? I'm like, well, yeah, let's get working, And then
literally, it's just trial and error and it's just luck as well in this game. It's a lot of luck.
If you stay friendly, obviously just have manners and be polite, people will give you the time of day. I've learned this all round. I've trained multiple DJs up now. And I haven't said to them, I haven't charged them a penny. I could have been with an agency, someone said, right, this is so-and-so, this much an hour, But I'm willing to help out as and where I can. Yeah. Because, like you say, it's a hard game to get into. I'm not going to start giving sets to people saying, all right, you've just started out, but I'll get you a set here. Because I know DJs out there what have worked, many years really hard trying to get sets, but they're struggling. So I'd have to go to them and say, right, I've seen you've been putting in the work rate, so I'll get you a set,
On the back of that as well, would you want to take DJs under your wing and give them out to different venues? So a little agency kind of thing?
I'm too busy for all that, to be honest with you. I'm trying to get my own name out there,
Yeah. But even in the future though, even if you have made your name out, would you want to do that or still not? It's not for you?
hypothetically speaking, let's just say I got bigger than what I was now.
Yeah.
And I started to get a bigger name for myself, like, you know, and I'll be talking like thousands and thousands of followers. Then I'll start taking on like groups, let's say groups of like 10 throughout the year, once I've got some time. And then just sort of like do even a video like an hour long with them all, like a month or something like that. That hour in that month may not seem a lot, but where else are they going to get that hour guaranteed?
Yeah.
So, you know,
do you prefer the quick sets or the longer residency sets with which you've done for like what 6 hours, is it, or 5 hours, something like that?
Well, I used to play Nottingham a lot because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
I used to play at loads of different bars and clubs and stuff. And these were like just one-offs and stuff. And then I moved to Residency. And I found 6 hour sets it's hard, because we have this rule in the club where I actually quite like, because it just stops the normality of things. Like we have one rule of per playing one song a night. So if you played that song in them 6 hours, you can't play it again.
Mm-hmm.
No matter if it's the biggest banger. And for me, that in my early years, that taught me a lot, because it just shows you like not to sort of lay all the bangers together. Because you can go to a venue and lay out, say for example, we got a 6 hour set like I have. Any DJ can go there and lay out every single banger in an hour. But after that first hour, what are you going to play to keep people on the dance floor?
Yeah, definitely.
It's just basic crowd control.
You know what like residencies when you're starting up it's a good thing, because it enhances your DJ knowledge and skills as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like we were saying about 6 hours as well.
Yeah.
I learned tracks I never even knew about, like, you know. And the more you progress, the more you find newer things. You're like, yeah, okay, I'll throw this to myself. This works, you know. My average mix time is 90 seconds a track. It's literally intro, verse, one, chorus, out.
Yeah.
And everyone's like looking like, why is he changing so quick? You play a song full 3 minutes long in 6 hours, people are just going to start to get bored, because like it's 3 minutes. It may not seem a long time when you sat here, like, but when you're in a club,
it's a long time when you're in a club, when you're trying to dance as well. You ain't dancing for 3 minutes straight to one song.
I think on a night out, I think I'd get bored after the first 45. I'd be like, yeah, I know what the song is now, I'm going to go get a drink or something, you know. But unless it's an absolute banger, because like me personally, I like a lot of 90s R&B, like old school stuff. But I couldn't play that main set. It just wouldn't work. Like, it takes people's knowledge of music, you know.
I think it's a big thing, residencies, but I've had one and literally the club just closed. Like, you get those kind of things where the bad luck, like literally I had no warning Friday night, and then Saturday night I get told, oh, we're closing the club.
You've got to be prepared for the worst all the time. Literally, we've been 3 floors in our place. There's been times where if you're on the top or the basement, like the floors, if it's quiet on your floor, your floor's getting shut down. It's getting locked off. You're going home. So literally, it's like a free for all. Even though all of us DJs get along, it is literally like a free for all. You've got to grab as many customers on your dance floor as possible.
How do you find reality TV stars going into DJing?
Yeah, like I've always said, to be a DJ, you've got to at least understand music or have a passion for it. Yeah. I've seen most reality TV stars going into DJing, and I'm like, hang on a minute, that's just come out of nowhere. I've seen a few where they've obviously sort of had pre-recorded sets played for them. Like, I think it was like Love Island, whatever it's called. I don't watch it, but yeah.
Yeah, Love Island, yeah.
You'll see them on these guest sets, right? And there'll be people recording them, and there'll be a transition on the track. Nobody will notice, like absolutely nobody, apart from a DJ, and you'll see, like, hang on a minute, it's not transition, nothing there. This is pre-recorded. Like, come on, guys. Like, if you're gonna do it, just take the risk, man. Like, just actually give it a go. Like, no one's gonna hate you for it after the set, because you already picked, because you're on you're on TV. Everyone loves you already. You know.
Yeah, legit. Yeah.
Makes
Like,
no change.
I think also it's about knowing your equipment as well. If you don't know your equipment, that's another thing.
If a DJ can't turn up to a club and set up a standard CDJ system, I don't think you should DJ there. But saying that, I do know DJs what can't set one up, but they can DJ, weirdly enough.
I mean, it is a big thing, you know, jumping from a controller to a CDJ, because there's a lot to know about it. But I don't have a problem with DJs turning up with their controller instead, but it's when you turn up to the CDJ and you don't even know how to set up the CDJ.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's like a bricklayer to turn up to work with that. It still was like, yeah, I can get the job done, but I haven't got the right tools for it. Like,
I don't know how you lay bricks.
yeah.
Has radio been an option for you, or have you wanted to stick to like the clubbing festival route?
I've been on radio in Leicester. It's good, but only if you're hitting all these big radio stations, like sort of like One Extra, Capital. But the thing is with Capital, I've noticed a lot. I don't know if you have as well. When they play producers' remixes, they will not state whose remix it is. They'll say, "Oh yeah, something remix," and it's just like, hang on a minute, you've just like got this guy's remix to play on the radio, but you're not even announcing like whose remix it is. I think it's mainly at the weekend. Yeah, if you listen, it's only Capital what do it. I think it's at the weekend
just Capital, not Capital Extra.
Yeah, I think it's Capital. I'm not 100% sure because I'm in the car and I'll be like listening to it often on the way back from work. Still playing.
See, I don't listen to Capital. I listen to Extra. That's it. I don't really listen to radio, to be honest.
Well, once I'm out the club, I don't care. So as long as something's playing, you know, like my ears are still ringing when I've come out. I'm like, if it goes to dead silence, it makes my ears. I'm like, oh no.
Why do you have the booth monitor up?
Yeah, not even that. It's just how loud it is. We literally stood on top of a bass bin. But no, obviously, I like to have it's a weird one, this is. I like to have my headphone on my right.
Yeah.
So my booth monitor is on the left. So the problem I have, I've got constant, like, you know, mix up in my ears. I've always had my headphone on my right. And this booth speaker, I can't even compare the size to it. It's fairly big.
Yeah.
And just blaring out in your ear. Even if you turn it down, it's still quite loud in the club.
It's weird. You have some booth monitors like that are massive, and they're like a club speaker.
Yeah, it's mad because the way you turn them up, you can't turn them, like some clubs you can't turn them down on the DJM anymore.
Okay.
And some clubs you can. It's like this is why you've got to know your configuration in the club. Because we've had the booth monitor like just blow out on us many times. Like, it's just some pop. And if you put a DJ in there what don't know the setup, it's gonna be like, what's just happened? Or imagine, say for example, because it's happened to me various times. I used to be a record box DJ.
Yeah.
Where the software would crash mid-set, like everything off. I'm just like, okay. And literally, I've never moved so fast in my life just to get everything like unplugged and plugged back in.
Yeah.
Now, if you put a DJ, like you were saying earlier, who doesn't know how to set up in the booth, and then that happens, you can't just ring up the mate and say, yeah, I'm like, you know, how do I set it back up?
Yeah, you can't go find the manager and be like, can you set up the thing back again?
But it's not even the manager's job to know how to set up. You know, you're the DJ. Like, you know, they've employed you to know your stuff. If you don't know a simple setup,
they've just bought the equipment because they know it's good. That's it.
Yeah, but believe it or not, our manager's actually quite good with our equipment. Right, I think he took the time out to sort of learn everything, which I think most up and coming DJs should do anyway. Learn the equipment, and then if anything ever fails, you know what to like do straight away.
You said you use record box. Why did you change?
Well, I used to be, like I say, a really high performance. You know the XP1, the like hot cue pad.
Yeah.
I used to do live tone plays on the fly. And then record box had a massive like bug issue or something like that, and it just kept on crashing mid-set. I'm talking 2-3 times a night, and I'm like, well, I've gone back, tried to sort it out, and it's having none of it. And then all of a sudden work before my set again on like a Friday night, and I'm like, yeah, banging, like it's fixed now. Friday night came, we cut out like 3 times again. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need a new DJ software. So I was like, Serato was like a pretty good move.
Yeah.
The worst thing about that was transferring over like 40,000 different tracks with hot cues, because there's this thing where you could transfer your hot cues through Recordbox to Serato. But I didn't know about this at the time, so I'm sat there like at home on the mic, like doing all these individual hot cues with like 40 different thousand tracks.
I swear it should just normally just preset it. Once you preset it, I swear it just stays on the track.
I don't know. This was a problem with Recordbox. It kept on deleting like all the hot cues as well.
Oh, okay.
And still to this day, Recordbox, I've been told, is still having like massive issues. So, you know, I think they're just trying to push quality out more than quantity. Like, you know, quality over quantity. Sorry.
So to kind of wrap everything up, where do you kind of see your production taking off? Where do you want to take it?
Well, I keep going back to the remix I'm working at the minute, and I'm like, I don't want to drop it because I want to make my own sort of track to make it blow from there. Because if you make a remix, everyone hears remixes day in, day out. Like they'll be on YouTube searching for a certain remix. It would just be one of them typical, oh yeah, it's a remix. It'll be played for a bit, and then 6 months down the line, the track's gone. So hopefully, if I do manage to come up with something better before, say, Christmas, and get everything in the pipeline for a release next summer. Hopefully.
Yeah. Next up, you know what? It'll be interesting to see, because I asked this to Nathan Dorr as well. I said, like, how do you know when to drop a track, especially in this time? Like, do you know when to drop now or to do it after quarantine because people will be more active? Or
I think with Nathan is like, obviously he wasn't expecting everything. Well, nobody was really expecting this to happen. And I think he already had it planned out how he wanted to drop it. So like, you know, when he dropped Flowers, you know, it's going to be a big summer anthem. Like, but then he had a downpour of like all these big artists like dropping music like last week or the week before, I think it was. And I seen his Instagram post like all these big artists just dropping all these tracks, and like I was sitting like 12th in the iTunes, like top 40. And I was like, oh, I feel for you, mate. Like, you know. But if we weren't like all like lockdown, you'd have got them plays in the clubs, which, you know, people who have never heard the track before, you'd have gone up even further and you'd been winning. You'd have been winning. But no, as a whole, he's sort of like, yeah, there is I reckon there is a sort of pattern you've got to release tracks in.
Yeah. Definitely.
I reckon if I did a remix, say it took me a month to do, and I go, right, the day after I've just finished it, I go, right, I'm going to drop it now. It's a bad mistake because there's no promo there. I reckon, obviously I can't comment too much on production side because I'm not full-on producer like that. I'm just getting into it myself. But what I've seen and heard, it's about as much promotion, if not more, than a DJ.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, man, I heard the dancehall you were playing last night.
All right, yeah. You know what?
Do you know?
Yeah, carry on, sorry.
Do you know what the funniest thing was there? Do you know just before I clicked on your sort of live stream,
yeah,
I just finished like downloading tracks off BPM Supreme, and there was
Sorry, what did you say, bro?
I said every single one of the tracks I was downloading last night before I clicked on your stream was like dancehall and reggae, and I was just like, great minds think alike here, like, you know. Trust me, man. I'm waiting for some.
You know what? BPM is one of like the best record pools I've used, because I stopped using DJ City.
They're all 6 months ahead. Like, oh yeah, we'll delete 5
because BPM's American, so they've got all the American stuff before I feel like City does, but City has more UK stuff.
There you go. So for everyone know, like a UK versus American USA mix, you know what to use. DJ City for UK and so on. But now, literally, man, I'm waiting for some artwork to drop today in my email. I think it just dropped. That's why I think it lagged. So I had an email. Get this dancehall artwork, and then hopefully, I'm not going to put a date on it because I've seen the pressure you dropped on it. Alfie word it. I'm not going to set dates for mixes, man. Nah.
He didn't even drop it. He didn't even drop it. I told him he should drop it. He didn't drop it.
He was debating it. I've seen his face. He's like,
yeah, he was
I've got
debating it, but now he's probably gonna drop it soon, hopefully. But
he was like, yeah, I'm live, and then as soon as he came off live, he was like,
application was I didn't find the application long, to be honest. I just put the card details in, and that was it.
But no,
I think the intros I prefer in City than BPM Supreme. I don't know if you find that, but I find that
application for BPM Supreme was quick. Like, it was real quick, man. Like, DJ City, like, I think I had to go through 2 submission forms or something daft like that.
I don't like how you have to put 60 quid up front for City. That's what I don't like about it.
It's silly, man.
Because like if I really want, like, if I really need, let's say if I really needed that 60 quid in that month, and I've just spent it all on DJC. I know it's over 3 months, but still, I'd like to pay 20 quid each month instead of 60 quid up front.
Yeah, you could sign up to the mashup and like get BPM Supreme for still like less than what the price of DJ City is.
Yeah, BPM 70. No, BPM's like £10 a month or something like that. The smaller, not the premium version. The
standard. Yeah.
Yeah, standard. I think it's like £12 a month or something like that.
The layout's a lot better as well, man, because when you go on there, it gives you an option to download like the intro, the dirty intro, the clean intro, instrumental, acapella straight away. Whereas DJ City, you got to click on the file.
You have to click on it, then ratings.
Leave a star review in that. Yeah. Like, it's wrong, man. Why? I get that leaving feedback is good. I won't stress enough. Leaving feedback for people is good.
But it's long.
These artists, man, are already up there. Like, what more feedback do they need? Like, they're up there.
Trust me.
People are paying for this stuff now, man. Like, you know, and they're just like being long about it. But
bro, I appreciate this, man. Like, it's been a good chat.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Like, sorry to cut it short. I've just got another. I've got to take a little drink and then got another one. Last one of the day. But yeah, bro, it's been a great one. And like, yeah, hopefully we can link up after this.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm down.
Yeah, bro. Take care, man.
You too, man. See you soon.
See you. Bye.